Hello, welcome to Lauren's math lesson. Today we're going to be learning how to solve equations with variables on both sides. Before we start the lesson, there are a few key things you need to know before we start. The first thing is distributive property. Distributive property is when there is a number outside of the bracket. In distributive property, you have to multiply the number outside the bracket by the numbers on the inside of the bracket. Our first example is 3 open bracket x plus 4 close bracket. This is distributive property by taking the outside number of the bracket and multiplying it by each number inside the bracket. Our equation went from this to 3x, which is 3 times x, which equals 3x, plus 3 times 4, which equals 12. So 3x plus 12. We just used distributive property to solve this question. Now we are going to expand. For example, we have a question that now is 3 open bracket x plus 4 close bracket. And then we do 6 open bracket x plus 2 close bracket. Now we have added a second part to the question. We know that 3x plus 4 is equal to, from using distributive property, 3x plus 12. Now we've got to solve the second part of it. When the brackets after the 3 close, that 3 does not interact with any other part of the question. Now, since there is a 6 in front of the set of brackets here, we have to use that 6 in our distributive property. Start with the first half of the question, which was 3x plus 12. Then we now solve the second part. We use distributive property, which is 6 times x, which equals 6x plus 6 times 2, which equals 12. Now our question is 3x plus 12 plus 6x plus 12. Now we have used distributive property to solve this question. Now that we have learned how to use distributive property, we can now start to learn how to solve equations with variables on both sides. Let's start out with a sample question. Why don't we start with 2 bracket 2x plus 3 close bracket equals 3x plus 9. As you can see in this equation, there are variables on both sides of the question. Now we start this off using the distributive property we learned previous in the video. Now we got to take 2 times 2x, 2 times 2x, which equals 4x. Now we've got to take 2 times 3, which equals 6. Now we've got to combine the two answers. So our equation now becomes 4x plus 6, and then we take this part right here, which equals 3x plus 9. So this is now our equation. Now we've got to use something called like terms, which is where you gather all the numbers that are the same. Since 4x and 3x are the same, since they both have an x after them, they are considered a like term. We will now take these two like terms together and put them together with 4x. So we bring 3x over to the 4x. And since they are a positive, we have to subtract 3x from 4x. So 4x minus 3x equals 1x, or just x in this case. And what we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. So minus 3x here. So now our equation is x plus 6 equals 9. Now we've got to collect the other like terms, 6 and 9. Since they are also both a positive, we have to subtract. So we take the 6 over to the 9, and we've got to take 6 minus 9, which equals 3. So now, and what we do on one side, we have to do on another side. So minus 6 here. So now our equation is left with x equals 3. So now we have found out what x is equal. Now we have to go back and make sure that our answer is right by plugging in our answer of x equals 3 back into our original equation. So let's look at it now. So 2 times 3, x is 6. So we'll write that down. We'll do 2, 6 plus 3 equals, and 3 times 3 equals 9 plus 9. Now we use distributive property to solve this. So 2 times 6 equals 12 plus 2 times 3, which equals 6. And then we do here 9, we use the like terms, and 9 plus 9 equals 18. 12 plus 6 equals 18, so our answer is correct. So x equals 3. Okay, now we are going to continue with solving equations with variables on both sides. Let's start with another equation. Let's start with 1, open bracket, 3x plus 2, close bracket, equals 1, open bracket, 2x plus 3, close bracket. As I said earlier, we can see that there are 2 variables on each side. So now let's get started. We have to always start with the distributive property. So we start with 1 times 3x, which equals 3x. And then we've got to do 1 times 2, which is equal to 1 times 2, which equals to 2. And now we've got to put that redefined equation together. So 3x plus 2. And it equals 1, open bracket, 2x plus 3. Now we've got to do distributive property on the other side of the equation. And we'll start with 1 times 2x, which equals 2x. And we'll do 1 times 3, which equals 3. So, and then we'll put that into equation. So we'll take our found out equation here, which is 3x plus 2, which equals now 2x plus 3. Okay, now we are going to continue, and we have to collect the like terms. So we'll just flip over to a new fresh page, and we have to collect the like terms now. So the like terms, as we'll refer back to here, like terms are 3x and 2x because they both contain an x. So let's write down the like terms. And so what we have to do is we have to gather the like terms. So since they are both a positive, we have to subtract them. So we have to subtract 2x from 3x. So we subtract 2x. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So minus 2x. Now we are left with 1, or just x, plus 2, which equals 3. So now we've canceled out these ones. Now we have to collect the other like terms, 2 and 3. And since they are again a positive, we have to subtract. So we have to get this over there. And then we have to subtract. So 2 minus 3 equals 1. And what we do to one side, we have to do the other. So minus 2 here, minus 2 there. So our equation is now, we switch this to x equals 1. So our answer is now x equals 1. Okay. Now we have to just check our answer. We came up with the answer of x equals 1. So now we have to check our answer to see if it's correct. So we'll just find that out. So we've got 1 and 3 times x equals 3 plus 2, close bracket, equals 1, open bracket, 2x, x 2 times 1, which is equal to 2 plus 3. So now we use distributive property. So 1 times 3 equals 3 plus 1 times 2, which equals 2, which equals 1 times 2, which equals 2 plus 1 times 3, which equals 3. Now we add them all together and collect the like terms on the one side of the equation. So 3 plus 2 equals 6, which equals 2 plus 3, which equals 6. So that means our answer was correct of x equals 1. Thank you for watching Lauren's math lesson today.